let's say there's
If you
someone
want to do
listening
it
to this.
holistically.
Yes. So let's say there's someone that's listening to this podcast. They're thinking about going on Ozempic, but they're listening to this and thinking, actually, potentially, I'm going to give everything else a go before I do that.
Yeah.
What would be your steps to start to change the behaviors? Because that's really what it is, right? In order to start that process of losing weight.
So the people that I work with, they want information. So I'm wired that way too. I want to know why something is the way it is. I'm not satisfied until I know why. So I did more training in nutrigenomics, which, if you separate out the word, is nutri is nutrition, genomics is genes, and it's the science of looking at how your diet and lifestyle interacts with your genes. So we're all born with a set of genetics. Your genes never change. So what does change is how they express. So your diet and your lifestyle can either switch genes on that are dormant or switch them off. So what nutrigenomics does is it looks at someone's blueprint. So I basically can get a printout of that person's genetic profile and see. So there's a report called the metabolics report, and that looks at how well does that person regulate insulin, how sensitive is their leptin, how well does their ghrelin operate, how well do they regulate their blood sugar?
Is that through like a blood test?
It's a mouth swab.
A mouth swab,
and you
right.
only, because you have your genes for life and they never change, you only need to do the mouth swab once.
Right.
And then there's 11 different reports. So you can look at anything from thyroid to nervous system. A lot of people look at nervous system for ADHD. So I've had a couple of clients that they want to know what their dopamine's doing. So we can look at that. So I would start with their genetics. I'd want to know what their genetic hardwiring is for metabolic flexibility. How well do they do all those processes that we talked about? And once we have that, what that's telling us is what and why. And once you know what and why, you now know what to do because it's on the report. So we use a lot of cofactors. Minerals are cofactors, things like magnesium, zinc, B6. Does that person have enough of those cofactors to help facilitate those genetic processes? So we look at their diet. Are they eating enough protein? So protein and fibre for me are the two staples. So I think we talked about this last time. You need protein to make amino acids, and you need amino acids to make dopamine and then all your neurotransmitters. So yeah, look at diet first. So make sure they've got adequate protein, fat, good carbohydrates. Get the refined junk out because those are anti-nutrients, so they're robbing your body of nutrients. Get the alcohol out. I'm sorry to say there's no good amount of alcohol.
Yeah.
And particularly if you're thinking about fat loss, and I wouldn't say weight loss because weight loss is something different, but fat loss, whilst your insulin's high, you're not burning fat. It's pure biology. So your insulin's high when you drink alcohol because it's just turning to pure sugar. So you think about it.
So if you have pure sugar, you're never going to burn fat.
Oh, because you're keeping your insulin high. So your body can never tap into fat burning because your insulin's just,
I wonder if that's, it probably is the reason. A lot of people that I knew when they went to university especially gained a lot of weight. And I was talking about it with my pals literally on Saturday when we fell asleep on the couch, welcome to 30. But yeah, I was talking to them. There was a picture of us back in the day, and my pals were like, "Oh my God, we were so much bigger then." And I've remained quite constant, but it's because I never went to university, so I never had that humongous spike in drink.
Yeah.
I drank, but I didn't as much as them. Probably, I was quite constant. But then, as soon as they felt the exciting thing is, as soon as they fell out of the university lifestyle and they started getting back into a good pattern, they lost all the weight again.
Interesting.
So it is doable. You know what I mean? Like I've had friends that have lost like 3. I think my pal lost like 3 stone.
Wow.
Just from
cutting alcohol.
Just from cutting alcohol and tailoring his diet. Like he probably, like looking at it from an outsider, he maybe didn't do it in as healthy a way as he should have. Yeah. But he still made the positive moves to do it.
And that's it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever resonates for that person. So for a number of people, if alcohol consumption is a big part of their life, that's a big area that they can start with. I see this a lot often in clinic. People are quite shy about how much alcohol they consume. So I'll make people fill in a food diary, and they will always underestimate that like the 2 bottles of wine is like a glass or a couple of glasses. And and through a lot of questioning, we come to the conclusion that there's 2 bottles of wine a week. That's a good place to start, like you say. And that's a relatively simple thing to do. And there's loads of products on the market now. It used to be, I think, difficult for people out socially to say that they didn't drink or they didn't want to drink. It was far more socially, I don't like saying socially acceptable because it makes it sound like it's wrong, but it's easier, I think, to do it.
100%. And it's not just easier, it's that people are so much more health conscious now. Like we saw, I was going past a club that used to be called The Sanctuary the other day. It's now not The Sanctuary, it's changed. But there was like a running club going past it. I never used to see that. I never used to see that.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned red wine there. The terrifying thing about red wine I learned the other day, UFC fighters, the day before they fight, they will drink a bottle or 2 of red wine to dehydrate themselves.
Yeah.
See, when you hear that, how tapped is that? Like, see, if you need to lose a couple of kilos, they'll actually just get absolutely smashed.
Well, bodybuilders are not healthy. I would not take health advice from a bodybuilder.
But it also goes to show the level of dehydration that alcohol causes.
Yeah.
Like a bottle of red wine, these guys are legitimately losing weight to fight in order to do their weigh-ins by drinking red wine.
Yeah.
It's specifically wine. I don't know if it's more dehydrating. It must
possibly, but can you imagine the headache?
Oh, red wine, Christ. Yeah, white wine's a little bit better.
The red wine hangover is something else.
No, it's the worst. It's is it phosphate?
Something like that. Yeah, it's just sulfates.
Sulfates. Yes. That's it. Yeah, it's terrible.
But again, that's an example of a short-term intervention to get a short-term gain that is possibly stacking up longer-term problems. Bodybuilders as a whole, what they do to get into shape to compete, when they come out the other side, they pile all the weight back on again because you cannot maintain that lifestyle. It's just impossible.
A lot of rugby players do it. They'll come out of the rugby pitch and within like 2 years they'll because they're exercising so much. They're really fit
and they're used to that high protein, high food consumption, and possibly that hasn't adapted for the shift down in movement.
Like taking it down a gear. If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast, and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.